Hello and welcome to this tutorial. Today's topic will be how to set drops in Clanfolk. I play in the test branch of Clanfolk, meaning anything new you see is not in the default branch yet, but will probably be added soon. So let's get started. We are all familiar with this situation. The food is empty. The Clanfolk start to starve. One immediately distributes gather berry tasks, but nobody wants to do them. What can we do to make sure these tasks get done? Well, the easiest solution would be to emergency boost them. That might also seem like the fastest solution. However, that is not the correct solution, and not even the fastest in some cases. More about that later in the video. If your Clanfolk don't do jobs you assign, it might be because it is not work time yet. The Clanfolk's days are split in 6 time periods: sunrise, morning, daytime, evening, sunset, and night. Each one has its own work schedule. During time off in the morning, the Clanfolk do self-care related jobs, like drinking, eating, pooping, washing themselves, increasing their fun, or talking to each other. If all their needs are good, or if they love a job, they might start working in the time off period. Morning, daytime, and evening are the main hours of work. Here the Clanfolk will only pause their work if their needs get critical. During time off in the evening, they do self-care related tasks again, as well as refueling our heat sources and taking care of cleaning jobs. During the night, all Clanfolk should sleep. Moms will feed their babies and dads will bring them back to bed. If you interfere with the sleep schedule or the self-care related tasks, the Clanfolk might get cranky and work less efficient, meaning they will be slower and might pause their work to fulfill their needs more often. Interruptions with the schedule can happen if they are set to overwork, which is how you can let them work during time off and sleep time, or because they have to walk too far to fulfill their needs. Nevertheless, they won't work if their needs are critical. Another reason for Clanfolk not doing what you want is that their skills are not adjusted. In general, one can say that each Clanfolk will try to work through tasks from the top of the skill list to the bottom. One can adjust these skills in the individual Clanfolk overview, where you can raise the skills to increase their priority or reduce it by moving them down. You can also disable a skill, which means the Clanfolk will never do that job again. Alternatively, you can open the skill menu where you can change the skills of all Clanfolk in your clan. You can move the skills up and down again. There even is a button to move it to the top of the list or to the bottom. And you can also disable skills again. Therefore, one can use the hotkey G. First thing I like to do in the skill menu is to lower all the disliked skills to the bottom with the hotkey B. Then I like to raise the liked skills or skills with multipliers to the top with hotkey T. After that, I always raise the doctor drop to the top of our skill lists, as the doctor drop is essential in case of a crisis. It also takes care of potential babies which have short need bars and get critical very fast, or of your animals if they need medical attention. Normally there are not many tasks that fall under the doctor drop, and if there are some, I like them to get done as soon as possible. The second skill in all my Clanfolk is the repair skill. The repair skill is really important for self-care related tasks. For example, filling bathtubs and water dippers, as well as refueling heat sources. The Clanfolk will start and refuel fire as a critical job if they get too cold. However, igniting it is faster if it was refueled before. Jobs like cleaning the dishes and resetting floor mats are also repair tasks and are important for keeping the place clean. Let's talk about the other skills now. In the beginning, 5 or rather 6 skills are very important: gathering, harvesting, building, crafting, and hunting and cooking. Gathering is the first task you will need to do. It is used to gather stones, branches, and berries. Later, it is also important for getting clay and mushrooms. Our grandma here has gathering at the top because she has a multiplier on it. That's great, and I will leave it as it is, but since she won't be around next year anymore, we need to remember to set another gatherer after she died. Next skill is harvesting. It is important to harvest enough reeds for straw. Also, getting peat as fuel is a harvesting task as well. We have 3 Clanfolk with harvest at the top, and Esther here will replace both elders as soon as they have died. Another important skill is building, since you don't have any structures when starting. Most people want their blueprints to be built as soon as possible, so it is important to have the building skill set to a high priority by raising it to the top of the list. However, it is also important to have all the resources pre-building, since making them takes time as well. Josef here loves building, so he will be our builder. And here we get to the next important skill, crafting. Without crafted tools, almost no job is possible. Additionally, making building materials such as bricks, tiles, nails are all crafting tasks. Making planks, however, would be a lumber task. 2 of our clan folk don't like crafting. However, I think it is fine as it is set right now. If I get additional workers, I might look for one that likes crafting so he can have it as his top priority. And finally, we have hunting and cooking. I like to leave those skills together and might have an additional cook if I get too many hunting tasks, to ensure there is still food being cooked. Hunting is very important for resetting ear traps and rat traps. If you leave the hunting skill before cooking, it ensures that the traps are reset before the food is being cooked. I gave both jobs to Moore and have Joseph as a backup cook. If you have too many hunting jobs, you might need more than one hunter. Leaving us with the most important skill of all, hauling. Hauling is a skill that will always have tasks, meaning the hauling skill is a kind of barrier between jobs that the clanfolk frequently do and jobs that are mostly ignored. Hauling is important because it heavily affects your clan's work efficiency. If you build a resource storage near the workstations, haulers will try to bring the resources to those storages, meaning the people working on the workstations have a shorter walking distance to get to the resources they need for working, making them more time efficient. Additionally, it reduces visual clutter around your clanfolk's home. For example, it takes care of clothing lying around. With a big clan, it might be necessary to have dedicated haulers to make sure everything gets hauled away fast enough. After I'm finished with distributing these skills, I like to look at our skills again, because ideally you want every job to get done by at least one clanfolk. Personally, I like to disable all tasks that would make the clanfolk unhappy, so everything with a sad smiley gets disabled. Because even if I place these tasks at the end of the skill list, they still would be done if I were to emergency boost such a task, or if I have a low task count in general. I will show you what kind of effects that has on Moore, as she dislikes gathering. The dislike drop affliction affects the fun and mood of a clanfolk. The mood has a direct impact on the work stat, which is correlating with the working speed. So in general, it makes them unhappy and slow. Finally, I like to disable jobs below the hauling as a visual indicator that they won't get done. It makes it easier to find someone who can perform a certain skill if I notice that my clan is lacking that skill. If I leave them active, that means I would like those skills to be available as work if almost all hauling tasks are done, or as a backup in case I need to use an emergency boost. Setting the skill list is a very personal process. It is dependent on your own playstyle which skills you prefer. Once I've turned off all the skills I don't need, I like to check again if I have all the skills at least once at the top of the skill list. The task list is a great way to estimate in what kind of order the jobs will be done. Thereby one can click on the skill and see how many and what kind of jobs fall into this skill category. The jobs on the left will be done first. This order is set by the chosen priorities on the items. If the priority is set to 0, the corresponding hauling task won't be triggered. If it is set to 10, it will be done at highest priority. At the same time, this does not mean that the job set to priority 10 will be done next. If the skill to which this job belongs is a low priority job for your clanfolk, it still might take a while before someone tackles it. Personally, I like to keep priority 10 empty in case of an emergency. I would like to explain the strict and non-strict priorities to you. Personally, I would suggest using non-strict priorities as long as you have just a few clanfolk. Strict priorities mean that all jobs correlating with a more important skill must be done before the next skill will be used. That is great if you have many clanfolk and want each one to just do some specialized tasks. With non-strict priorities, the next job is determined with skill priority and item priority combined. Since it is easier to explain while showing you, I will do that. Alex here has harvest and mining at the top of the skill list. Right now he wants to harvest some oats, since his harvest task is above mining. If I change it so that mining is above harvest, he will try to mine. Alex is on non-strict priorities. That means if I increase the priority of the harvest job, his task will change to harvest again, since the harvest job is now more important than the mining job. And on non-strict priorities, the next job is determined by skill and job priority combined. If I enable strict priorities, Alex will finish all mining tasks before starting any harvest task, regardless of their priority or how many there are. On strict priorities, any lower skill will only be activated when no skill above has any tasks. Meaning on Alex, gathering would only be done if all tasks connected to all skills above gathering would have been finished. Let's talk about the emergency boost again. To enable an emergency boost, you need to click on the priority number. If that is not possible, there is no task connected to this priority box, as for example when moving an object. Here you can change the priority of this building task on the pack up object box instead of doing this on the actual object. This new task box is present on all objects which are to be boxed. The option to boost an item might also be missing if you click on an item which is already in the highest priority storage, because no hauling task would be connected then. That can also happen on any storage if you never changed any priorities. While hovering over the number box as well as after enabling the emergency boost, warnings are shown. These tell you that your clanfolk will ignore all other unboosted tasks until all boosted tasks are completed. That strongly lowers your efficiency. You might even boost more tasks because the unboosted ones are not being taken care of, leading to more and more boosts. That situation can be quite dangerous and could lead to nothing being finished, resulting in a major crisis for your clanfolk, which even can end with death. It also tells you to keep your task count low. It is recommended to limit the number of jobs per clan member to about 25, meaning 6 working clanfolk can easily manage 150 tasks. Or if it is not so important to get all tasks done, this number can be raised to 50 jobs per clan member. One needs to know that all tasks are being considered each time a new task is being chosen. So if you have many tasks, this process will take much longer, just like in real life. If you have many tasks, it takes much longer to decide on one than if you only have a few. If you struggle with keeping your task count low, disabling tasks, so stopping them with the hotkey V, or using blockers to plan out buildings might be valid options. If you add too many emergency boosts, the job list will tell you your productivity is lowered. Here the number of clanfolk is taken into account. However, not all emergency boosts are always listed. It will only be listed if it is an active waiting job. For example, a kiln with available jobs will be shown. However, a kiln with no available or currently crafting jobs will not show up. The not active jobs still affect your clanfolk's productivity, because they eventually change into an active emergency boost, and those will always be done by the next person available. Unskilled? Doesn't matter. At the other side of the map? Doesn't matter. Does not like the job? Doesn't matter. They are free and it is an emergency. It is recommended to not emergency boost jobs permanently. For example, if you need to boost the smithy for a job, unboost it afterwards. Personally, if I have the feeling I need to emergency boost anything, I would pause the game and look at my skill priorities again. However, there are instances where an emergency boost would be okay. For example, if I want a specific task to be done during the night and I want the clanfolk to be awake for the shortest time possible without changing their skill list. Or if I need to rescue a resource from the rain. However, if possible, I like to build roofed areas where I know that perishable stuff will be dropped. I have some examples to show that the emergency boost might be slower and less efficient than a properly set up clan. First, we have the crafting of 40 nails. In the left scenario, the boosted one, the clanfolk who will do this job had a farming task before she started the crafting task. She had a long walking distance since the farming tasks in the save are far away from the smithy. In the right scenario, we have a clanfolk that already had a crafting task before, meaning she already was in the area. And she is skilled in the crafting skill, which allows her to work faster than the clanfolk in the boosted scenario. The left scenario will be interrupted by the baby. The baby will wait until his mom is ready to feed it. However, if the mom is doing a chain task, for example building 5 walls or planting 10 tiles of oat, the baby needs to wait until his mom is completely finished. Boosted tasks are never chained, meaning the likelihood that the baby will interrupt the work is much higher. Both tasks got tackled almost immediately. However, the boosted scenario took 2 minutes and 24 seconds to be finished, while the non-boosted scenario just took roughly 51 seconds. This shows the efficiency of a well set up clan. Second, we have the hauling of 4 stacks of meat. I set this task during time off period in the morning, meaning working was no priority of the clanfolk in either scenario. The emergency boost ignores the time off period. Here the first 4 clanfolk available did this job. In the non-boosted scenario it was only 2, meaning in the boosted scenario more Clanfolk were interrupted during their normal work and self-care routines. What surprised me a bit is that both scenarios took almost the same time, despite being started in the time off period. Finally, I have the gathering of many mushrooms. Note that this area is too big to be gathered efficiently, so without boost I took some time to adjust the priorities so that the task will be done in close proximity to each other, as that ensures more mushrooms get picked up and be hauled away. On boost you just have to select all mushrooms you want to harvest and boost them. Here we can see that the boosted drops started in the time off period, meaning the Clanfolk got interrupted during their self-care drops. On the not boosted part it took slightly longer because the Clanfolk took care of themselves before starting to work. That is one of the reasons why the boosted scenario will be finished earlier. Another reason is that more Clanfolk, or that had gathering enabled, got called to do the emergency task, while on the not boosted scenario I didn't change any skills before starting, meaning gathering was a low priority for some Clanfolk. Both tasks are almost finished now. In the boosted scenario many mushrooms got left behind in the rain, since the boost interrupted the chained hauling that is shown in the not boosted scenario. In total, 39 stacks of mushrooms got left behind in the boosted scenario, while it were only 9 in the not boosted one. The time comparison shows that the boosted scenario is finished much faster than the non-boosted scenario. However, more mushrooms got left behind in the rain, begging for another emergency boost. Here I would just increase their priority to 10 since they just got picked and we already have a functional freezer, meaning their decay will be stopped. Finally, a summary. What to do if you noticed assigned jobs don't get done. First thing to look after is the in-game time. During sleep and time off, you should not force your Clanfolk to work. They will either sleep or fulfill their needs, and then start to work. This ensures that they work fast and efficient. Adjust your skill priorities. Lower disliked skills and raise liked ones. Skills at the top of the list will be done first. In general, you would want to have each skill near the top of the list on at least one Clanfolk. Gathering, harvesting, building, crafting, and hunting and cooking are especially important when starting the game. The hauling skill acts as a barrier between jobs that will be done frequently and jobs that won't be done. In my opinion, it's the most important skill to increase your work efficiency. Strict priority is good for many specialized Clanfolk. In the beginning of the game you want to turn it off. The task count should be around 25 tasks per working Clanfolk, meaning 150 tasks for 6 Clanfolk. Emergency boosts are for emergencies only. It will impact your clan's general productivity and might lead to nothing being finished. Generally, emergency boosts should not be used on reoccurring tasks and also not on non-active tasks. If it does not disappear after the task has finished, remove it manually. If you feel like you need to boost a task, you should look at your skill priorities again. On a well set up clan, boosted drops might take longer than non-boosted drops. They definitely lead to a lower work efficiency. That concludes my video. Thank you for your attention and bye bye.